Good evening, everybody. I'm Lawrence Howard. This is my match report of the second World Cup semi-final here in the 1975 Cricket World Cup being played here in England on Brian Lara Cricket on PlayStation. I haven't been doing this for the last few days because obviously I've been down in London spending time with the family, and also I've been working up here. So this was the second semi-final. Just in case you've forgotten, it was Australia versus England, a rematch of the group match, which England won convincingly in Manchester. This was played at Nottingham, a ground where England struggled to chase down 103 against Holland and 137 against Sri Lanka in the group stage, so their record at Nottingham was a bit iffy. Australia scored 328 in the opening match at Nottingham. This match was played on a damp pitch. England had scored 290 on the green wicket in Manchester in the quarter-final and 334 in their last group game, a world record score against India up at Leeds. So Australia won the toss, selected the bowl. A little bit of a gamble because England had been batted well throughout the tournament on these sorts of pitches on different grounds. And obviously, they batted first against Australia and scored 266 for 6. This was the outcome. It was, well, as you can see, the game was absolutely extraordinary. England absolutely devastated, but you've got to believe the bowling figures. You've got to have a look at the bowling figures to believe it. But let's have a look at the batting scorecard. The lowest ever score by a Test play nation in World Cup history, and England's lowest ever one-day score, 93. They were all out in just 30.1 overs. Dennis Amiss, 27, but look at that. 2 for Barry Wood, 6 for Keith Fletcher, 8 for Tony Greig, 6 for Frank Hayes, 4 for the captain, Mike Denness, ducks for Alan Knott and Chris Old, 2 for John Snow, 16 not out from Jeff Arnold, and 5 for Peter Lever. Absolutely nothing there. It was sensational bowling from Australia, but Gary Gilmour only playing his third match of the tournament. Look at those figures from Gary Gilmour. We'll go to them in a moment. 17 for 0 for Jeff Thompson. He didn't take a wicket again. He's definitely been a weak link in this World Cup. 1 for 26 for Dennis Lilly. Now the leading wicket taker with 18 wickets, gone above Dale Hadley. So either him or Brendan Julian will end up as the leading wicket takers. We'll see in the statistics in a moment. 3 for 22 for Max Walker. 14 wickets in the tournament. He's been an unsung hero. But Gilmour, 6 for 14 in 10 overs. The best ever figures in a one-day international by any bowler. And he simply just bowled it on a length and just swung the ball and was just irresistible. The pitch didn't play that bad. It was just wonderful swing bowling from Gilmour. And he moves on to 10 wickets in just 3 matches. The response from Australia was absolutely unbelievable, though. Look at that. At one stage, they were 37 for 6, and England were on the brink, potentially, of the greatest escape ever in cricket in history. They were literally, had them all over the place at one stage. Australia just froze like rabbits, and just like their foot movement was poor. There was loads, as you could see, there was 5 LBWs. They just 7 for Alan Turner, 2 for Rick McCosker, 15 for Ian Chappell, who continues his poor form. Greg Chappell out for 4. Doug Walker's 0. 4 for the wicketkeeper, Ron Marsh. And then Gary Gilmour, well, he's taken 6 for 14. What does he do? He hits 29 not out of 29 deliveries. He shielded the strike from an out-of-form Ross Edwards and he hit 15 runs from, well, we'll talk about the bowling figures in a moment. 29 off 29 balls and 20 off 44 for Ross Edwards. 20 not out for Ross Edwards off 44 deliveries. He got runs towards the end. A wonderful 7th wicket partnership of 57 after being 37 for 6, seeing Australia home in just 23.1 overs. But look at the bowling figures very quickly. 7 for 0 for Peter Lever, 15 for 1 for Jeff Arnold, 30 for 2 for John Snow, bowled his 10 overs all the way through. 3 for 29 for Chris Old. He took 3 wickets for 4 runs in 8 balls at one stage, but then Gilmour took 15 runs off an over for him and the game just drifted away from England. England fought hard, considering that they were all out for 93, but in the end Australia got home. Gilmour comfortably the man of the match, as you will see in a moment. The match lasted, England were all out in 30.1 overs and Australia got the runs in 23.1 overs, so the match lasted only 53.2 overs. Not the shortest match in one-day internationals, but pretty unbelievable. Australia versus England at Nottingham. Australia won the toss, selected to bowl on a damp pitch in overcast conditions. They got England out for 93. England said they were happy. Mike Dinesh said he was happy about first, and you can understand why with the scores they managed on pitches similar to this throughout the tournament. They batted well when they batted first, but they were blown away by Gilmour's 6 for 14, all out for 93 in 30.1 overs. Australia were on the ropes at 37 for 6. Gilmour hit 29 of 29 deliveries. Australia 94 for 6, winning 23.1 overs. Australia winning by 4 wickets in the end. Gilmour comfortably man of the match with 6 for 14 and his 29 not out of 29 deliveries. Without doubt, one of the greatest all-round performances you'll ever likely to see, especially when you're coming in at 37 for 6 and your country's on the brink of the biggest blow-up in cricket in history. This is what it means. You won't be surprised. England's World Cup is over in devastating fashion. The World Cup final on Sunday will be between the West Indies and Australia. West Indies have blown everyone away apart from Pakistan. Australia have been a little bit inconsistent at times, but they've reached the final. Ian Chappell says they'll give his confident, even though that his batting side, even though they were 6 for 37, he's confident that his batting that Australia's batsmen will turn up in the World Cup final. He said it's a one-off match and it's a massive occasion. They're playing on the best side in the tournament and the best side probably in the world at this moment. So he'll be hoping that Australia's batting can click in the World Cup final on Sunday. Just got to save the statistics. We'll have a look at England's thing. Dennis Smith and Jon Snow, the key players. Their World Cup's over. And we'll have a look at the 5 players for Australia, all of whom have had pretty good things. Dennis Smith, 322 runs in 7 innings, in 7 matches, an average of 53. He's had an all-okay tournament. 2 centuries as well in the tournament, so he's ended up as an all-okay tournament. Fought really hard against a really unbelievable bowling spell from Gary Gilmour for his 27 today. Averaged 2 with a bat. Jon Snow, 2 wickets today. He ends with 9 wickets in 6 matches, an average of 19. But he hasn't had the most unbelievable tournament. Jon Snow, he took those 4 for 11 against the Kenyans in the quarterfinals, but overall his tournament has been disappointing. As you can see, leading wicket takers, 17 wickets for Dale Hadley and 17 wickets also for Brendan Julian. But now Dennis Lillee, 18 wickets in 7 matches at an average of 12. He's the leading wicket taker in this tournament. He's either going to end up as the leading wicket taker in this World Cup or Bernard Julian is going to end up the leading wicket taker in this World Cup. Gary Gilmour, magnificent bowling performance today, 6 for 14, a world record figures. The first bowler gets 6 wickets at a one-day international, the best figures by a bowler in one-day international cricket. He got 29 not out of 29 deliveries, so he's averaging 52 with a bat and 8 with a ball. Only 10 wickets in only 3 matches for him. Ross Edwards, his average gone up slightly. He's averaged 44 now, 134 runs in 4 innings. His first not out of the tournament. So that's upped his average into the 40s. Still in appalling form, Ian Chappell, averaged 99 runs in 7 matches at an average of 16. He's got a better bowling average, which just sort of sums it up for him. And Ann Turner's average just gone down to 58 now, 352 runs in 7 matches. He's had an okay tournament so far. He has 1 more match left in him. Well, what can you say to that? That is absolutely devastating from England's perspective. The pitch did not play bad at all. Gary Gilmour's produced the best all-round performance ever in a one-day international. He just had a day where everything just went right for him. It's just sensational. The crowd at Nottingham, there was a wonderful atmosphere, but they just were silent. But then at 6 for 37, and Chris Old got those 3 wickets in 8 balls, the atmosphere was absolutely electric. But then Gilmour hit 15 off his, I think it was the 5th over, and it just took the game away from England. I mean, England have fought well to get them for 6 for 37. I mean, Australia batting has been inconsistent this World Cup, and West Indies, in my eyes, are red hot favourites to win the first ever World Cup final on Sunday against them. Australia, I'm sure, will improve for that match, but you know, it's been an extraordinary game at Nottingham today. England's World Cup is over. It's Australian World Cup final. Join me for the final match report of this 1975 World Cup. The 1975 World Cup final between the West Indies and Australia on Sunday. Until then, this is me, Lawrence Howard, reporting for the 1975 Cricket World Cup being played here in England on Brian Lara Cricket. Until then, bye-bye everyone.